Naya Pooney, audience member number 1.
Andrew Antapara, audience member number 2.
And I'm Lennon Perkins. Have you ever been stressed about money? Have you ever felt like money controls your life instead of the other way around? If you had the freedom to live without financial stress, what would you do with that extra time? I'm here to talk about financial literacy. Managing your finances is a crucial skill that impacts every aspect of your life. It helps you sleep at night if you got money in the bank. It makes you a happier person. And there are 3 major ways that we can go about helping our financial situation. Evelyn Wall at Experian gave 4 examples of why budgeting is important. Number 1, it helps you from overspending. You know, every weekend, especially here at Kunsan, we like to go out, hit the hooches.
Yep.
You wake up the next morning, you're like, dang.
Where my money go?
I dropped $120 last night on shots. You go out to eat. You know, our DFAC is closing soon. We're going to have to start cooking. But realistically, a lot of people are going to end up hitting the fast food joints, you know, eating at Popeyes, eating at Pizza Hut. And before you know it, that paycheck will be gone and they'll be living paycheck to paycheck. That's one reason why budgeting is important. The next reason why budgeting is important is it helps you bring your goals within reach. So, number 1 problem of many people is money. They have dreams and aspirations, but, you know, I don't have enough money, can't afford that plane ticket, can't afford that trip to that city for a job interview. So managing your finances and creating a good budget could help you save and be prepared for a situation like that if it ever arises. Another reason for budgeting is it'll help keep you out of debt. Debt is a rising crisis in America, especially with student loans nowadays. It's taking some people lifetimes to pay it off. And if you just prepare just a little bit, create a budget, save money on the side, you won't have to worry about going into debt or leaving your future kids in debt. The 4th and final reason that she mentioned was it can help you prepare for emergencies. A lot of Americans don't have an emergency fund, and an emergency fund should be 6 months' expenses saved away for if you lose your job, and for our instance, if the government gets shut down and we stop getting paid. According to a 2023 article by Investopedia, inflation surged to its highest level in 4 decades after the pandemic, shooting as high as 9.1%. And this topic leads us into my next point, which is saving. Another article by the National Life Group shows that if you have an income of $50,000 and there's a 4% inflation rate every year, you will need to make $162,000 in 30 years to maintain the same lifestyle. Inflation is another crisis growing. It's been its highest it's ever been. And saving now can help you avoid the consequences of future inflation. A survey by Bipartisan Policy Center suggested that more than half of Americans lack confidence in their ability to retire. It shows this graph, if one of y'all could show it to the camera. That Social Security makes up what most retired Americans make or assume they will make for income. As you can see on that graph you showed, the largest bar is Social Security. It also shows that the majority of non-retired Americans indicate this is what they plan on being their main source of income when they retire. As of 2024, Social Security will pay you about $1,800 a month. According to the Social Security Administration, you can begin withdrawing Social Security as early as 62, but the benefits will be reduced because you are retiring before the FRA, or the full retirement age, of 67. It was 65 for a long time, and a lot of people still think it was 65, but it got changed to 67, and nowadays there are many proposals that it'll get raised to 70 or even higher. There are many ways you can go about avoiding relying on Social Security only in your retirement. There's a lot of other options. One of the most popular ones with companies is a 401k. A 401k is a tax-advantaged retirement savings plan. It allows you to make pre-tax contributions to an investment account directly from your paychecks, and they are often matched by your employer, most of the time up to 5%. You can't withdraw from this account until you are 59 and a half, or you will have to pay a 10% early distribution penalty. Once you start withdrawing, your withdrawals are then taxed after you withdraw on taxable income. There are other options. One of my favorite is a Roth IRA. I was a little late to the party. I signed up for a Roth IRA when I was about 21. It is basically an individual retirement account that you invest money into after you've already paid taxes on it. But the good part about it is when you pull your money out, all the profits that you made will not be taxed. You can start pulling out when you are 59 and a half. You can currently contribute $7,000 a year if you are under 50 years old and $8,000 a year if you are over 50 years old. And this number has increased multiple times every year to combat inflation. Overall, just a real valid savings account. The reason a Roth IRA helps is compounding interest. It's a very important factor to these retirement accounts. To keep it simple, compound interest is interest applied onto previous interest earned. So, say you make 10% off of an investment, then your next investment will make 10% off the investment and 10% off of the 10% you earned. This compounds higher and higher until it basically just becomes this as you get older or the longer you invest in. On average, you can expect a 7 to 10% return annually, and if you contribute the max amount of $7,000 a year starting at age 18, you'll be sitting at about $1.8 million in your Roth IRA when you pull it out at 59 and a half, untaxed. There are many calculators online where you can adjust your starting age, contribution amount, and expected return and see what you would be sitting at that age when you decided to pull it out. The results will honestly blow your mind and defeat any taxed retirement account out there. In conclusion, managing your financial literacy is a very important aspect for all people to know. Some of the key points I went over today is budgeting, saving, investing, going over some investing strategies like a Roth or a 401k, a Roth IRA, and compound interest. Start investing today, or your future tomorrow could be not fun. I'm Lyndon Perkins, and that is my speech.